3, 2, 1. Here we are.
I don't know what my mic's doing all the way up here.
Well, sometimes microphones run away. It's been known to happen. Yes, sir.
All right, so we are live.
That's what they say, usually. Yeah. I think that's exactly what's happening.
Feels good to be back recording.
Feels good to be back.
I feel like this is becoming a routine.
It's like a every week thing. A couple times a week, here and there, everywhere.
It just feels right.
Yeah.
Little recording session, go to sleep.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet dreams.
Parts of the day.
Yeah. I guess to start off today's episode, we can talk about the most obvious change that we have.
What is that?
My Funko Pop. We have replaced Michael Scott with Darth Maul number 9.
I was going to make this comment. I believe I made you a similar comment earlier. But it is quite comical. It's a quite comical comment.
Really, I'm ready to laugh. I've had a long day.
Yeah, well, it's funny to me that I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. And you have a wand. And you are a huge Star Wars fan. And I have Darth Maul. Explain.
Okay, I see it. You're working up to the punchline?
No. No, I'm not.
I see the conundrum. I have my wand and you have my
interesting.
You have my favorite villain, almost, maybe. Darth Maul. Things change. People change.
Well,
how the turntables.
Make my intentions clear now. I'm still a bigger Harry Potter fan than Star Wars. I just forgot to bring my stuff.
Agreed.
But that is a really cool pop. I also like Darth Maul. Kylo Ren, for me. He does it for me. But Darth Maul, he's up there.
I mean, that's a pretty cool pop.
It's a nice pop.
It's an original. The blue label.
Oh, I've heard of blue
label.
You can
see it's in a pop cover.
Well, the cover is pop. The pop.
Mint condition.
Robert. Okay, I can't speak English apparently.
For our viewers out there, this Funko Pop is not part of the giveaway.
Correct.
He is not replacing Michael Scott as a giveaway. He's just there for your enjoyment.
Making an appearance.
Yes. We'll probably switch out a Funko Pop every episode.
So, actually, to go to something that people might have probably didn't notice as well as they noticed the fact that, I'm a Harry Potter, all these changes that we've done to this table, obviously. Because this is obvious. Things that might not be so obvious that probably nobody noticed out there, but we have to say, is the fact that we changed our name.
We did.
Yeah. Yep. We spoke about doing it. We said we were going to do it, and then we did it.
For a long time. Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it was...
Wow. Look at us. Who would have thought?
Not me. Right. It's kind of like, you make a bad Snapchat name in like 6th grade.
Right.
But we can actually change it. We don't have to stay with it.
Yeah.
But we
given the choice.
We after much longer than we took much more time thinking of this name than
we're not very
the
creative.
First name. Because the first name we really didn't think about it as much as we should have.
Yeah.
And we learned from that.
We were eager to start it.
Turns out we're not the first people to come up with the art of living,
or the second, or the 8th or 20th. Yeah.
We're probably like the 97th person.
97, 90, yeah.
At least on YouTube, and like the 82nd on podcast platforms.
Yes, correct.
So
very exciting now because this name that we do have.
What would
not
that
only
be?
Well, so our official name now is Hoodies and Coffee Mugs. Now, notice. You got it? It's that little and sign that I never knew was and until I was like in 12th grade.
Right.
Very exciting stuff. When I found out that you can just put that instead of and,
that's a little
it saves me a whole 2 letters. You still have to space them out, right?
Yeah, you do.
But it's still saving 2 letters. You know how much I could do with 2 letters? I can do a whole or.
Oh, wow.
You get me? Yeah. So, very exciting stuff.
What do you do with all this spare time you have now?
But yeah, Hoodies and Coffee Mugs. There's a reason behind that name. First of all, we think it's kind of catchy. We think we can create a brand around it. We think we have a lot of fun with it. And in future upcoming times, it can be very interactive. As you can see, we are both wearing hoodies. Very exciting. We got coffee mugs.
We do.
And we got drinks. Non-alcoholic.
Yes, of course. Actually, the coffee mug I decided to bring out today. I'm kind of upset I chose this one because This is my special coffee mug.
Okay.
You can buy it at Walmart, guys. When you put hot drinks in it, they're lightsabers.
Oh, this
you
is
know,
not
show
hot.
up. It's
What
not
happens
hot.
when you pour a cold drink in it?
Nothing. It just sweats a little.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's
just like
unfortunate.
any other mug.
We'll bring it back. We'll bring it
Yeah.
back.
When we have our hot drinks,
Mm.
we'll bring it back.
Absolutely. Well, I have a Harry Potter mug that it's Hogwarts, and as you pour a hot drink, the moon starts to come. Very exciting stuff.
Oh, wow.
Very exciting. Oh yeah, very
cool.
exciting stuff.
Yeah.
So-
So hoodies and coffee mugs. I mean,
Can't get much more
we're
clear
we're
than
a
that.
fan of hoodies.
Yeah,
You know, we're also a fan of coffee mugs
and coffee.
and coffee.
Might
Yeah.
bring some coffee in here, you know.
Pour over.
But mostly, we're a fan of exciting new drinks.
Yes,
We're
we
always
are.
talking about new drinks and weird stuff
We're
from
always-
weird places.
Anytime I'm somewhere and I see a weird drink, I'm buying it.
Have to buy it.
Try
Have
it
to
out. Experiences. You got to live a little.
buy it. Absolutely. They don't always taste good. As a matter of fact, they rarely do. Nah, they sometimes do.
Yeah. I mean,
So that's gonna be a new thing. We're gonna try most likely every episode. I would say, right?
yeah,
To
something
come
new.
up with a new drink to showcase. We're not sponsored by them. Like that, very clear. Okay, we're not sponsored by any of these drinks, but we're gonna showcase them, talk about them for a minute or two, and then continue with our day. I think it's something very exciting.
Right.
So
Ideally,
ideally,
continue.
we would also thank you, sir. We would also change out hoodies, you know, because we do have a lot of hoodies, and then ultimately, as time progresses, our audience grows. You guys can get involved. Send us hoodies, coffee mugs, or drinks. Probably drinks would be the cheapest. We don't want you guys to spend money out there buying $30 hoodies, but
or at least just tell us about the drinks.
or let us know, yo, you can buy
Yeah.
this drink at Walmart or this drink here and there, or this is a drink from my country or something of the sort.
Yeah.
Be very exciting. We try new things. So that's for the future. Right now, all 10 of you that are listening right now, you know. But yeah, very exciting stuff.
It is pretty exciting, and we got a lot planned for the new name, the new brand.
Yeah,
the
it's a lot. There's a
logo.
lot more possibilities with that name.
There's a lot of stuff we can build off of,
Absolutely. So we're very
Um,
excited about it.
and I feel like it really just goes with our personality.
Yeah, it does. We're
I mean,
chill people. We laid back.
Yeah,
You know,
hoodies, coffee mug.
get a drink in there and bam. And
Mhm.
we're always, the thing is, we're always like our brain never stops.
Right.
So to have a name like The Art of Living is just there. Hoodies and coffee mugs. You can get new mugs, hoodies, drinks. I mean, everything changes.
Exactly.
It's like us, you know.
Mm. I see
With
where
all
you're
that
going.
being said, I mean, shall we?
I think we shall. It's
So
a very interesting way to open this.
yes,
Right? If you guys aren't, well, I mean, you can't really see us on the YouTube channel that close up, but it's not a twist off. It's not like a pop off. You gotta pull out, then up,
like a grenade.
like a grenade,
So
basically.
it's
yeah.
about to be an explosion of flavor in our mouth.
Mm.
Wow.
This is a ginger beer.
Where is it
Craft-
made?
Craft brewed over 3 days in
Interesting.
the down south. Isn't it down south?
The land down under.
The land down under Australia.
That's right. There's a kangaroo
Yeah.
in the front. This is very exciting
Very
stuff.
interesting. It
Makes it
says to invert bottle before opening.
Well, inversion is occurring. Oh, I see. There's
It's kind of
molecules.
Oh, wow. I
That's
feel like
my-
it's gonna be very gingery.
Very exciting.
We're
we
big
just-
fans of ginger.
We do like ginger.
Ginger ale,
all sorts
ginger
of ales
beers.
that have to. Yeah. Okay.
Ginger in itself. I'm kind of scared to open this on
It
over
might be
my laptop.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that was
Oh, I see what happened there.
very pleasurable pop there. Very pleasurable. I liked it a lot. What? Whoa. Okay. We're just gonna.
Very nice.
Yeah.
that was
very exciting.
actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna litter like you.
Are we? Well, you know me, bro. It's not. You know.
Let us
Are
pour.
we doing this? Wow. Cheers.
I don't know if you guys can hear the
A little
ASMR.
bit of ASMR going on. Wow.
Hear the sizzle of the ginger.
Very exciting stuff.
I would kind of even want to just drink it out of the bottle. This bottle's pretty cool. It's very small
Oh, wow.
spout, I guess you could say.
It's
the
cloudy.
opening.
It's very cloudy.
It's very strange. But it looks like it's
It's like it has like a film. It's very
is that the ginger?
yeah. It probably has like legit ginger in there. Pretty good. All right.
Cheers. I think we're too far
Cheers.
to.
Yeah, we just. Yeah.
Ooh, very gingery.
There's ginger in there for sure.
Oof.
That's good stuff. The
is
Australians
pretty
do it
good, yeah.
hardcore, man.
It tastes like straight up ginger root.
They just threw some ginger and water in there, guaranteed,
Yeah.
and then put like Alka-Seltzer. But it's good.
It's actually.
It's good.
I'm pleasantly surprised.
All right. Woo! You got a cold that'll clear you up.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so we have done the.
That's it. That is the traditional opening. The first traditional opening.
Boom! This is history being made here. Okay.
I'm impressed.
Very good drink. So, all right, last podcast we said we were gonna talk about our friend Mark.
Yes.
You think he would hear this?
Man, I wish we would have gotten his phone number or something. So.
You think we would have with the connection that we made,
or at least on Facebook? 'Cause I think he asked us for Facebook, and
did he really?
I think he asked me, and I told him I didn't have Facebook, which I don't.
I have Facebook. You should have said something.
Dang it.
Mark,
Sucks.
did we get his last name? We shouldn't probably say it live.
Did we?
I don't think so, but even if we did, we shouldn't put it out there.
Yeah. He lived. Where did he live?
I couldn't tell you. Seems like we don't know enough.
Was
about
it Massachusetts that he came down from?
He lived up north.
He did. North of Florida.
Oh, okay, yeah, not northern Florida, north of Florida. Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. Yes. Shall we just commence with the story?
Yeah, I mean, I think you met him before I did.
Correct.
So I think we should start from the beginning before you met Mark.
Okay, cool.
So
Let's run
start,
it.
Yeah.
So
I guess start with like where
the
your
whole
parents
camping
met.
thing. Whoa. Yeah. How I was
the camp.
conceived. Oh, that's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't think we got time,
Camping.
but
Right.
next
That's probably
podcast
quick.
maybe.
All right. So Mark, man. So before that, I had just come down from Ocala. I was going through a rough time. I had just lost my job, lost like my house up there, gotten out of a relationship. I mean, it was rough for me.
It was.
It wasn't.
It could have been worse. But
Hey, well, I heard a podcast with some dudes that said that it was a rough time.
right.
You know, it was like my dream career. I mean, this was rough for me. I was just having it hard.
Yeah.
So I decided, just to get my mind off of things, I'd go camping. You know, I enjoy camping. You enjoy camping, right?
I do.
Wanted to be alone. Just want to be away from everything. To get my mind straight. Like I said, it was real tough for me. So I did. I packed my stuff up. It was probably, a Friday?
Was it a Friday? Yes.
It was a Friday. Yeah. Yes, because I remember. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was a Friday. So a Friday, probably around the morning time, I got everything ready. I headed out there to the Everglades, drove deep into the Everglades, got a site, and set my tent up. Really nice site. It had like the beach and there was like forests and woods on one side and the beach on the other side. Awesome.
Yeah, because you were gonna originally stay at Long Pine.
At a site that's closer to the city, I guess.
Long
right?
Pine, yeah.
Long Pine, and then they didn't have any available, so I ended up staying way down south.
Yeah, Flamingo for any of the locals that know the Everglades pretty
and
well.
that's as far as the Everglades go. Like that
the
part
main road, yeah.
So it was way down south, away from everything, which is what I needed, I guess. So God knows everything. He sent me down there.
Right.
And so I set up my tent, do everything. I remember I had my Irish fairy tale book. I started reading that. I was reading the Bible. I was reading a bunch of stuff. And as time progressed, I was feeling good.
Right.
Time goes by. I got a couple phone calls from some friends that, God sent. I needed them. And I'll shout you out, Rolly. He called me. And, he talked to me. That was cool. Eventually, you called. You called and you said, hey, why don't I head down there with you? And why don't I go camping with you? And we spend the night. I have my tent. I'll go set up next to you, and we'll have a chill night, roast some marshmallows, whatever, over the fire.
Yep.
Just have a good night. I said, absolutely. Come down. So
I would have been there the Friday night, but I had I think I had something with the youth group Saturday, like during the day.
Right, because you came Saturday night, correct?
Yeah.
I spent Friday night up there by myself.
Yeah, I pulled up Saturday as like the sun was setting.
Yeah.
Because I was at church most of the day, and then I headed out as soon as I finished.
So yeah, I spent Friday afternoon, all of Saturday there. Like I said, having a decent time. I was getting my mind away from all the stuff that had happened. And so this whole time, Saturday,
right,
as I'm there alone, I had a table. I'm reading my books, doing my thing, writing a little bit. Probably 50 yards yonder, there's a man. Different, very different person,
man, yeah.
Right? He had come and gone. He hadn't officially set up his site. And eventually he goes and he sets it up. Sets up a nice little one-person tent or perhaps two-person tent. He was alone. He's got a nice car. It was a 2019 or 2020 Explorer. Like the night, really, really nice.
I think it was like the RS or it was like the racing.
Yeah, so super nice car.
Very nice.
Comes up, sets up, right? And I'm watching, I'm reading. And then all of a sudden, his tent flies. And rapidly. Okay,
It was windy.
It disappeared. It was a very windy day, so his tent starts to tumble and disappear. So I run after it. I end up getting his tent. I come to him, whatever, we say a couple words, help him with the tent back out, and that was that. The evening starts to come, right? Sun kind of starts to set, not quite yet, sunset, and I'm there once again by myself. I had already started the fire. The sun was still out, and Mark, well, the man whose name I did not know, he comes up to me, and very, very super friendly guy.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he needed somebody to talk to. I don't think he'll mind me saying that. It seemed like he needed somebody to talk to. Lord knows I did. Ends up, he sits down next to me. The guy's got a beer in his hand. He's feeling good. He sits down next to me. Oh, you want a beer? I was like, nah, I don't drink. Right? We start talking. And he starts telling me all these things. His whole life story. Everything. And crazy. Mark, and you're coming. You're about to come. So, like, he's telling me his life story. He's been through it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Your memory is better than mine, and he told you the same thing that he told me. But I believe he had lost his mother to cancer.
He had lost his mother. He had
lost everybody.
He had lost everybody
except for like one brother, perhaps.
He had a brother. I think he said that they weren't really on the best terms or something like that. Maybe they were.
Yeah. So he pretty much had nobody.
Yeah. And he had lost his wife.
Yeah. Yes, he had lost his wife.
I think his daughter, his daughter was there, but like she was like
gone.
Yeah. She has her own life already.
And he had cancer.
He did have cancer. Yeah.
He had cancer. So, anyways, I'll bring you into the story. Sun's starting to go down. Jose arrives. He sets up his tent. And Mark, we continue. I tell him about Mark. I'm like, hey, look, this is Mark. We've been talking for a couple hours. He came over here. Once again, super friendly guy. Jose sits down, and we all start to talk. And the whole reason why we wanted to bring this up, Mark was going through real rough, if you think about it. Mark I think he was financially well. Can we agree on that? He was able to leave his life behind.
Yeah, he had gotten an inherit. Well, he had gotten I think it was like a settlement. It was like some workers' comp thing from like way back.
Because he worked in an iron factory, like an iron, foundry.
Something, yeah.
To where he had and that's what caused his cancer. He was around these fumes all the time and all this stuff. It caused cancer.
Yeah. And
they gave him a settlement.
Yeah.
We're saying a lot about this guy.
I mean, hopefully he's out there, and if you sound like you fit this description and you remember us, we have a Polaroid of you, Mark.
Yeah, we have a Polaroid picture that we keep very dear of us three.
He has one of, I think,
and we gave him one. Correct. Yeah. We took two. We gave him one. We kept one.
But anyone out there knows a Mark that likes to travel a lot.
Well, yeah. So this guy Mark, he's lost everybody. His wife, his parents. His children aren't really there. He now has cancer. They tell him you have this long to live. And I don't remember the time, but he said that, his days were counted.
Yeah.
Right, which is rough. So he decides, I'm going to buy myself a new car with this settlement. I'm going to travel America.
Yep.
And that's what he was doing. By the time he got down here, he had never been. He said he had been down here one time before, but it was so long ago that none of this existed. The whole.
Oh, yeah.
So he was just.
Homestead was like just farmland.
Yeah, exactly. So he said he came back and saw all the buildings and stuff. He was amazed, right? So he was just literally living out his last days to the best of his ability.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark was incredible. Mark, so it's getting late at night. It was probably like 10 p.m. and we're talking about eating. And Mark is like, well, I have some deer meat. And if anybody there knows me, I'm really, Jose's a vegetarian, but whatever. I'm really into like exotic meats and I'm really into hunting and all that. So he said deer meat and I was like, I'm game. So Mark brings in like a thing of deer meat. We end up making deer burgers. He was excited, and it was super interesting because he was jumping around like a little kid. You remember him?
Yeah.
He was like, yeah. He's like, I didn't know. He's like, y'all didn't know you were going to meet an old cat like me. That was so cool. Dude, and he was so excited.
So carefree.
He didn't care about anything.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that God put him in my life at that time because at that time, and one day in this podcast, when I'm mentally able to, I'll get to how deep things that you don't even know as my best friend. So obviously you'll need to know before they do, right? How deep into like depression I went into that time, things that people don't even know. And at that time I was at my lowest. Right. And I do believe that God put him there for me to show me like this guy is dying. This guy has nobody.
Mm-hmm.
right? And he is so carefree and he is so happy. And he's got so much to offer. Like, he had knowledge, and he was talking to us even about God and about his life and his past and all the mistakes that he's made and all the things that we should do. It was so deep, you know, and you and I realized it right away, and especially when we parted ways, Mark and us. That's why we took the 2 Polaroids and we gave him one, and because we saw that. We saw how deep his pain was and how well he was able to, like, just get through it, fight through that pain. And he was just doing what he was a kid. The guy was, what, in his late 60s?
I'd say so, yeah.
Right? He looked good. He used to be a Calvin Klein model, right? I remember he pulled up some photos and stuff and showed us, because I was like, nah, Mark, you're playing. And he's like, no, I used to do this. And he was in shape. He was good. He had that cancer, right?
Well, I remember waking up Sunday morning, you know, being up real early, watching the sunrise right over the beach. And I look over and Mark is practicing karate moves.
Yes. Man, he was so bubbly. He really was. And I remember us laughing, man. I was like, wow, that's Mark right there, bro. He was out there just chip chopping and hoop plopping.
And doing push-ups and stuff.
Yeah, man. And he was all about it.
Yeah.
This guy has literally been told, you're going to die. That's it. You're done. This guy has lost everything and everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And he is out there trying to make the best of that because he knows this is it.
Yeah.
And we are 22 years old. We have everything. We have every chance in, like, every physical. We're financially stable. We might not be rich, right? But we can pay our bills.
Yeah.
We've got friendship. You've got siblings. You've got family, parents. We've got everything, bro. We've got God. We've got a church. We're not being persecuted. We're not, we're just in line. We've got absolutely everything. And we still sometimes, and, we won't go too deep into this because we had a whole podcast about this, right?
Right.
But we still choose sometimes to say, like, oh, life sucks.
Yeah.
Bro, there are people dying. Like, actually, Mark is dying.
Mm-hmm.
And we're over here just, we have the audacity to say our life sucks when we have all the blessings in the world. And I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Mark was an interesting character.
Super interesting.
I guess let me speak a little bit about how I ended up showing up, right? I think I texted you Friday.
Yes.
Because I was like, man, maybe I just blow off church and the pause, because it was a pause, like, leader meeting, right?
Okay.
And I was like, maybe I just blow everything off and just go, Friday night. And then I was like thinking about it. I was like, nah, it's not a lot of us, I gotta go, whatever. So I end up, showing up. I end up getting to the house super late, looking for everything. I didn't have anything prepared. I had, like, most of the camping gear already in my car because I just kind of keep it there for a zombie apocalypse.
Absolutely.
But I picked up some firewood. No, you don't have any firewood.
Yeah, my mistake.
I picked up some food because I don't think you had any food either.
I went out there. I was trying to clear my mind. I wasn't trying to eat and make a fire, Jose.
So I pull up. I'm pulling up, right, and I couldn't find your camping spot first thing, and I guess you heard my car, so you came up, right, and I get over there, right, and there's this like older, slim, tall man messing around the fire, and it's kind of like he was a little, like, dancing around. I was like, who is this guy? He's like, you're Mark. He's Mark. I was like, who's Mark? So yeah, at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, man, this drunk old dude is like,
well, that's what it seemed
alone,
like,
right?
Yeah.
But he was genuinely super chill, super cool. He was there. He was helping us out, helping us with the fire. He helped me set up my tent because it was already dark and we had flashlights.
And he gave us crazy, like, camping advice about how to pack our tents differently so they fit.
Yeah, because he knew some stuff, so he was just
Well, he camped everywhere.
Yeah, and he was basically living out of his car. Very nice car.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
But he was traveling down, and what he would do is that
nomad.
He was coming from. I think he was coming from Michigan, right? So he would come down from Michigan. You'd drive a day. Once he got tired, you find the camping spot and camp, right? And I think he made the whole trip down just to meet one friend for one weekend fishing trip.
Yeah.
Right? And then he was going back up. And that was insane. I was like, bro, that's so cool. Right? When he was telling me that, he was like, yeah, I'm just taking the trip down to catch up with an old buddy I haven't seen in, like, 10, 15 years. Fish a little, for one day. He was like, I'm going to be back here. Sunday morning, he was like, I'm going to be back here Monday night. If you guys are still around. Right? And he's like, then after that, I'm heading back up. I was like, bro, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Super chill. Even when you guys are eating this deer meat, right? He pulls out this deer meat. He said he bartered for it, right? And me, the lifelong vegetarian, I sat there. I was like, nah, whatever, cool, very sustainable, respect it. I have nothing wrong with eating meat, right? But this guy opens up the bag of deer meat and just takes a bite out of it raw. He's like, that's how you know it's good meat. So yeah, super cool dude. He was like making, I think he made tacos, right?
We made deer tacos, yeah.
Deer tacos. And then, I didn't really have much. I had a can of SpaghettiOs.
I mean, that's your substance.
And
what more do you want?
Even Mark was like,
cool,
bro,
like,
I guess.
Whatever
If you're only going to eat SpaghettiOs. But yeah, that first night, super cool. Like, just talking to us and, like, explaining his story and everything.
And listening to wisdom as, like, at our age. So somebody that's been through it,
Yeah.
Crazy.
And he was, it was crazy because he was telling us, he's like, he's lost everyone. Yeah. I don't even remember really if his daughter was around or what had happened there. But yeah, he was like, bought this brand new car and I'm living off of that money and I'm traveling, meeting up with old friends and, I looked at it and I was like, that's a great way to live.
Yeah.
Your last days. 'Cause he knows he doesn't have much left, but he took it as it came and this is the card, life handed me, so
you played
that's how you gotta play it.
It's impressive, bro. I'm still highly impressed by that.
Yeah.
By that choice to just
so he was just living it day by day.
Yeah.
Right? I woke up and did some karate moves.
Bro.
Stretch. He came over, he had breakfast, I think, and amazing guy. And you were going through a lot, right? Some tough times. And as my friend, the whole family was kind of like, we kind of like mourn with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mourn, I guess. No one's dead, but
yeah.
We feel the pain, because you're part of the family. So it's like, and just to see this guy so carefree, so happy, so he was like, look, this is what life ends up being, You end up knowing you're gonna die. You end up not knowing. Just live it day by day. I was like, blowing my mind.
Say that, I remember he did the same thing to you. He did it to me. You weren't there yet, and he did it to me, and then he did it to you, and I was like, wow. So he came up to us, and he was like, top 5 bucket list, right? And then when we tried to think about it, he's like, no, stop thinking right now. Top 5, right? And we just said, and I remember I told him I wanted to climb a mountain,
right?
I think it's skydiving. I told him a couple things, and he's like, you need to do it, right? And, like, he wouldn't the whole weekend. And I know he made comments to you about it and, like, stuff like that. It's like, yo, you need to climb that mountain, and you need to do this. And it's like, because we don't have that sense of urgency because we got time. Yeah. He's got that urgency. It's like, if you want to climb a mountain, you need to climb that mountain now.
Yeah.
If you want to skydive, you need to jump out that plane now. Wow, dude, I'm telling you, so much wisdom comes from that.
Man, I really wish I would remember what I said.
Yeah, no, I remember the mountain thing. That's the only thing I remember because he was like, climb the mountain.
Yeah, man, no, I don't remember him asking me that. I barely remember anything, ever about anything.
I was like, no, because I went rock climbing in Colorado one time with my school. He's like, how tall was it, man? That's awesome. So you already did it. I was like, yeah, I was like 30, 40 feet.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you doing, bro? Go climb a mountain. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Mark he was so free-spirited. He was so about everything. He just wanted to do everything. And when you think about it, industry worker, old school, not softies like nowadays, like old school, hardcore industry worker. Spent his whole life slaving away at this metal foundry, which is what I believe he did. And then he loses everything, and then gets told he's gonna die, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, most people, unfortunately, I think even me, like most people would choose to just go into like a depressive state.
Yeah, I mean, that would, especially with the way his life had been going. I think he had like 5 brothers. He had a lot of brothers, and then they were dying, like they literally died like one after the other, and he was the youngest.
Wow.
So he watched all his older brothers die.
Yeah. And his wife, bro. And I remember
his wife.
at one point.
Did she pass away from like cancer as well?
Man, I couldn't tell you. I wish I could remember these details, but I know she was gone. And I remember at one point, I don't remember what he said, but I remember he was teary-eyed talking about his wife.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's
man,
crazy, man. To see a grown man like just who doesn't know us at all, because it's not the same like having a confidant who you can be emotional in front of. Like this man, you could see the pain behind it, but at the same time, you could see how hard he was trying to just block that pain out and hardcore live his life to the best of his ability. We gotta learn from that, bro. Like I said, we have so much and we refuse to do that. So you think about it, if we refuse to do that, as we are with so many blessings and incredible things in our life, what happens when it gets rough, bro? We're in our early 20s. Like life will get rougher.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it's like, I think it's a Bible verse as well. As if you're unfaithful with the little, you're unfaithful with a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And if we have, if whatever, money just amplifies whatever state we're in, amplifies our character. So if you're, say right now, you're greedy, right? Mm-hmm. You can't blame it on the fact that you don't have money.
Okay.
Because you're going to have money and you're going to be just as greedy. You just have a lot of money and you'll be greedy with like, expensive things. You can't say, oh, I'm a bitter person because I have no money. Mm-hmm. The struggle, the financial weight. You're going to have money and you're still going to be bitter.
Yeah.
Right? Money doesn't change any of those aspects of your character.
Yeah.
Right? If you're a cheapo, you're going to have money and you're still going to be a cheapo.
Yeah.
If you're lazy, if you just don't have attention to character, money's not going to change any of those things. Mm-hmm. You're not a hard worker. Money's definitely not going to change that. So Mark was just genuinely, he was, the way he spoke about his life, the things he did, you could tell he was just very carefree, and the fact that, this hit him, everything hit him like that, and he said, I'm going to make the best of it. That's what he said. He said, I have all this money. I have no one to give it to. Like, what am I going to do?
Crazy.
Yeah. So he won and he got a nice car. I'll give him that.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're going to ride around this country until you die, you better ride in comfort,
Yeah.
It's that simple.
And fast.
Yeah. Yeah. And you remember how proud he was, and he was like, dude, this is the fastest. I've never had such a fast car.
Yeah.
And he didn't even really know how to use it. Remember we sat in it, we were telling him a couple of things. He's like, what?
Yeah.
He was excited. Dude, he was like a kid, bro. It was so like awesome to watch, bro.
And I'm positive he was like that his whole life. If we would have met Mark 20 years ago, and we were not babies, and we were actually the same age as now, I feel like he'd be the same way.
Well, absolutely. You don't change from being a grudge to that overnight, especially with hardship.
Yeah.
If you're a bitter person, hardship comes, you're gonna become more bitter. Right. So you have to have that attitude through the positivity, so that then when the feces hit the fan, the feces hit the ventilator, you can bounce back positively, because that's how you have programmed yourself.
Right.
So yeah, I bet for sure that he's been like that his whole life, and he just didn't let stuff get him down.
Get to him, yeah. But yeah, man, he's out there. He's a good person, bro. He was out there giving out. He had tons of cans of food, and he was like, "Anyone want them?"
That's right. You remember? Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, he was giving out, beans and whatever. He's like, "I got beans. Anyone want beans?"
Yeah.
And just giving them out, because he's like, "Well, I'm not gonna eat them now. I'm going fishing. I'm gonna have fish fry. So, anyone want the beans? And just helping people. He helped us pack up our stuff, and very genuinely cool guy.
Absolutely.
And I really did feel bad for him, for what he was going through. But at the same time, we didn't really speak a lot. We didn't sit down and have conversations we should have. But yeah, I would have liked to have told him, bro, you're out here, you're setting a good example, I guess.
Yeah.
You got everything going wrong for you, and you're out here trying to live, as positively as you can.
Yep.
So, Yeah, man, Mark.
All right. Very well. I don't know, man. We gotta be thankful for what we got. We gotta
Yeah.
stop being so ignorant.
I know
Ignorant.
you guys might have heard me say when Willie was saying, you know, how bad that time was, or that time period in his life, and I was like, it could be worse. That was a thing that I used to say a lot whenever things are going bad. I'd be like, bro, it could be worse. And then Willie would continue to say how worse things could be, and I was like, yeah, exactly, it could be worse. And it usually ended up with, well, we could be dead, which that would be pretty bad. And you know, we say it like jokingly, right? And like
true,
times
bro.
like that, just to kind of like lighten the mood. But it's true, you know, things could be worse. And you know, I know it's tough because we have bad times, right? But they're like bad times to us, right? Because we've been used to a certain level of like comfort, I guess. So a dip in that, you know, is a bad time for us. But there's people that live in those dips.
Well, those
know.
dips could be higher than some people's, you know, highs.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But we've been used to this valley or this plateau of being high. And then when we dip, even though we're still high, per se, we're still up there by quality of life. We're like, yeah. You know?
I mean, I think, what is it? I think if you make more than $32,000 a year, you're in the top 1% of the world.
Yeah.
All right.
Crazy.
So that's the majority of the U.S. adult population. It's part of the 1% of the world.
Crazy, bro.
Right?
Crazy.
1% of the wealth of the world. So, I mean, yeah, bro, things, you watch, you know, we're so desensitized, I guess, to poverty and to like things just being awful, right?
Yeah.
Mostly because of like movies and shows.
Not just that. I think unfortunately these like things that try to help, like showing like those little kids on TV, so much of it makes it to
we've
like
seen
it's
it
just
so many
normal.
times. You know, it
That
just
sucks.
You just see it and you're like, damn. But that's it. You know, and movies too, because you know you see movies of like third world countries, and you just, you know, you get used to seeing people living in tents on the street.
It becomes like something that's supposed to happen.
Right. Exactly. And then and I remember we were watching a documentary about like India, right? And it's like their rivers are so polluted, like so full of like
physical
trash,
waste.
physical trash, that, you know, people walk across the rivers.
Dude.
You know, and you know, and there's people, they have like a group of people that daily go out and look for bodies in the river. You know, because people just die and just end up in the river, and you know, they got to pull them out. And it's like that, they just pull them out. You know, they're so used to seeing dead people in the rivers.
How crazy is that?
And you're talking about, you know, 800 tents, right? There's like no, it's like falling down cement buildings, and just people in tents, right? And they just, it's literally like an entire mall of like tarps.
Wow.
That they kind of like just interconnect all the tarps. So it's like everyone's under shade. You know, and you have, it's like such severe poverty. You know, it's insane.
Yeah.
And you know, the people that went, they were like young American journalists and stuff. The like just out of college type of thing. You know, and they were like, they couldn't believe it. They just couldn't believe it, right? Because once you're in there and you're looking at it, it blows your mind.
Yeah.
We saw a video of the church put it up, right, of a guy that was doing a mission trip in Africa, right? And I think it was like 50 kids, right? 50, like in this village. They were like all holding hands, right, in this big circle. And they're on this village lives like on the top of a mountain, right? And this village, like, they take in orphans, right?
Okay.
So most of the kids were there were just orphans. And they're on the top of this mountain, right? You got all these African kids on top of a mountain doing like a ring around the rosy type of thing. And, you know, you're looking out over like this African country land, right? Beautiful country land. But, you know, and they meet up in their church, which was like 4 bamboo sticks with a couple bamboo, like couple like palm leaves and stuff. Palm fronds. There's no running water, there's no electricity, right? And that's how like they lived. Like you know, and it's so hard to get it through through people's mind that
Because it doesn't make sense to us, bro.
you know, and
at
it's
all.
and you're talking about the guy, you know, they were like to build a well, I think it was like $6,000,
Wow.
right? To build a well. And it's like, damn, $6,000. $6,000 to build running water for an African village, right? Why in the world does not every African village have running water, have a pump? Where are there still kids that have to like carry, you know, water jugs?
I mean,
And at the moment, you know, you're watching and you're like, you know, you feel motivated, you feel like, and then it just goes away. You know, you turn off your TV,
yeah.
you sit down in your air conditioned bed and you take a nap and you wake up and you kind of just forget about it.
The Joker, bro. The Joker. Said it best. I already said this quote, but it was the whole thing about like the bus for the soldiers blowing up.
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, this is what we deem normal.
Yeah.
And as long as I can go to the fridge and grab a Sprite, I don't care that a little African boy can't drink water. It's messed up.
Yeah.
Dude, that's messed up. Like, that's
Talk
a
about-
human being, bro.
Mm-hmm.
What? I mean,
Oh.
and unfortunately, we're part of the problem because I haven't
Yeah.
built any wells in Africa
Yeah.
lately. You know,
Oh, yeah.
so it's messed up, but
I
we're
don't
also
think-
part of the issue.
I think we talked about this during our Lebanon podcast.
Cheers.
I still have a little bit left. I think I still have a little bit left. No, that's all.
Right.
I think we talked a little bit about this in our Lebanon podcast, where I said it's like it feels so hard to like, so impersonal to go and help,
Mhm.
right? Because, I mean, if anyone out there knows a fast track way that I can get on a plane and go to Africa and help build things, let me know. You know, and I will do it, and we'll do a podcast from Africa. You know, and it's like things like mission trips. Like, I feel like so hard. It's so hard to get on a mission trip, right?
I don't mess with mission trips, man. I'm gonna be real honest with you.
And I was another thing.
Especially when they're coming on behalf of a church.
Yeah.
Bro, nobody in Africa cares about your God. This is real. People in Africa need food, and this is coming from a person, Christian, grown up in the church, who cares about and has, you know, fights for a relationship with God every day.
Right.
Don't go over there and preach to people. Go over there, give people what they need, and once you have established a decent way of where they can live like human beings, we can go and talk about our God. Talk about the God that has blessed us to be able to do this for you. But don't go over there and talk to a village full of starving children about how God is merciful. Really? How merciful is he? Because the last time I ate was 2 weeks ago.
Right.
That's probably a lie. But you get me?
Yeah.
It's so upsetting to me. I was talking about, without throwing anyone under the bus or any institution under the bus, the one mission trip that I've been a part of, that we went to this one place and we built a church.
Well, I think you can expound on it a little bit.
Really, yeah. And, you know, we went on a mission trip to a place where people needed things, and we built a church.
Right.
The only thing that these people did not need was a church. They have their belief system, very traditional,
Very rooted.
Native American, okay?
Right.
Very traditional. They have problems with alcoholism. They have problems with drug use. You know what they don't have problems with? Worshiping God. You know what they did with this church? They live in it. But there's a pretty little sign that says Seventh-day Adventist Church outside. So you drive by and it's like, oh, so-and-so, such institution came by and built this church. What a wonderful act of charity. No, bro. You could have built a couple houses. You could have just spent that money and gotten these people into some treatment.
Right.
It's upsetting to me when we try to push our God down people's throats who don't need. Everybody needs God. But God can work through us. Through food, through mental health, counseling, through you putting up a post that says church is not God.
Well, you don't even have to go as far as, you know, a mission trip. Just like preaching like normally, right? The gospel. A lot of Christians, a lot of churches, institutions, you know, they go on, they throw the facts, they throw out the you know, you see the radicals out on the street, you're gonna go to hell, you know, you're gonna burn, you're gonna, you know, and that none of that is a biblical. There is not one biblical example of that in the Bible, right? We as Christians are called to go out to love your neighbor, right? Above all else, you know, love God, and then love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? You follow those two things, right? And you should fall in line. with everything else.
Yeah.
Right.
Everything else comes after.
And that's like that's no way to preach. That's no way to be a witness.
Well, you don't.
No way to disciple.
When you when you want somebody to buy a product, you don't tell them this product sucks. Have it. You know. So how are you gonna come and try to basically? I mean, it's the wrong way to say it. Sell me God. It's not. How are you gonna come and gift me God and His teachings and His love by saying, "Oh, if you don't do this, you're gonna go to hell and burn forever," dude?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That's not what I want to be a part of.
And not only that, that's like, if we're going to, on a theological standpoint, fear is no way motivation to
unless
follow
you're Michael
God.
Scott.
Unless you're, I wouldn't have time to like expound on that.
We're already over the time, but whatever. Once again, who's counting?
You look at various examples in the Bible, and fear is never a sustainable source of faith, right?
Absolutely not.
Fear will wear off.
Mm-hmm.
What doesn't wear off, biblically, is love.
Yeah.
Right? You truly love God. You truly love your neighbor, and that's what's gonna last. Now, if you practice your religion because you're scared of
burning in hell,
failing, you're scared of burning in hell, you're scared of of a million things that most commonly, God's gonna punish me for this, right? It gets to a point where you just don't care. That's not, faith is not a sustainable way to worship. Only love is, right? And then if you go out, right, and you try to evangelize, right, just like evangelism, right, of course is necessary, right, in the church, and evangelism, to be more specific for those who don't really know, evangelism, you go out and you preach to. It's like when you go out and you preach to 5,000 people, right? 10,000 people in a stadium, and you end up having, a couple thousand baptisms, right? It's like a week-long thing, boom, right? And it's like, it looks great on the numbers, right? It looks like, oh, wow, look, we baptized 5,000 people in 1 week, right? But out of those 5,000 people, how many of those people stay in the church? How many of those people go out and spread the gospel, right? The majority of them get baptized is because that's like, oh, I need to get baptized, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's not how we're called to like spread the news. We're called to disciple, and disciple is you have your group of 10, 12, 5, 3 people, 2 people, you and one other person, and it's a personal connection, right? And that's what people lack, bro. People don't like having connections with others. People don't like,
bro. People want numbers,
being
bro.
genuine.
Pastors want numbers.
Right.
Constitutions want numbers. Charities want numbers. Oh, we've helped this many people. No, you haven't done squat.
But not even on like that big of a scale. Just people on the ordinary, right? Religious
some people
or not.
are just radical.
Yeah.
Some people are just crazy.
But even like whether you're religious or not, right? Like you need to have a connection with anyone that you're trying to like. If you genuinely care for that person, right? Yeah. You have a connection with them, right? Especially if we're looking at it on a religious viewpoint. If I want, I want you to meet God, right? I need to be your friend first. I need to be genuine, and if I'm not religious and I just care for you, obviously we're going to have a relationship, friendship, not like a relationship. So yeah, that's like that. We could go on with that forever.
That could go on forever, and it cannot go on forever because we're at 15 minutes, and it's a known fact that people's attention, a human being's attention, is 6 seconds. So we're like 57 minutes and 50 something seconds over.
So they didn't even hear our new name.
It's unfortunate, but it's part of the truth. So I think we're gonna cut it off here. I think it's pretty successful. And yeah. Anything else? Any last regards?
I think that's it.
Social media, like always, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Anything else? You can find us on.
Follow us on Instagram.
It is hoodies and the letter. Unfortunately, Instagram does not let me use the little.
Oh wow!
And it's such a great tool.
Great.
So, but whatever. Hoodies and coffee mugs. On everything else, it's hoodies, coffee mugs. You know the little
that little overdrawn 8.
So yeah, that's you can follow us there. We appreciate the support. We've been getting a couple views. Don't do it.
The 8. All right.
Oh, I thought you were gonna Arvada Kedavra me. Yeah, that's about it. And I think we're doing it, right?
I think that's it. Yeah, that is It
is over.